products whenever they can.
Some say it's their way of helping the economy and showing pride in American-made goods. And by law, the U.S. government must buy American-made goods whenever possible. But that's not always how the system works. Tonight, Charles Hadlock continues an 11 News investigation into the name behind the label.
The flying machines of the Air Force help win the war in the Persian Gulf. And when those airplanes need repair, they are brought here to Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio. Mechanics and engineers use this machine tool manufactured by Mazak, an American subsidiary of a huge Japanese firm. When the Air Force ordered this $500,000 machine from Mazak's Houston office in 1987, base officials made it clear to Mazak that the machine had to comply with the Buy American Act. In other words, at least 50% of the machine had to be made in the USA before the Pentagon would buy it. Now, Mazak had a problem. Its American plant in Florence, Kentucky doesn't make the kind of machine the Air Force wanted. However, in a letter to the base, a Mazak manager in Houston certified the machine would be made in Kentucky. But the machine that arrived at Kelly came from Japan, complete with Japanese instructions. The serial number matches the shipping document showing the Mazak machine was delivered from Nagoya, Japan to the port of Houston. That Mazak manager who sold the Air Force the machine no longer works in Houston. He's been transferred to Mazak's office in Singapore. The people now in charge of the Houston sales office say they don't know anything about the sale.
Saying that it will manufacture an ST-60 for the government. It will be manufactured in Florence, Kentucky. Yet on the shipping documents to the government,
Charlie, there's nothing I can do.
It came from Nagoya, Japan.
Right. Again, I don't know anything about that one.
Internal memos from Mazak show the company was concerned about losing the government's business. This memo from a Mazak distributor, translated from Japanese, says in the future, all machinery that is delivered to the government must comply with the Buy American condition. There can be no more of the kind of fancy footwork we have had to this point. The memo was written 3 months before Mazak shipped its Japanese machine to Kelly Air Force Base.
Mazak certified they were American-made, American manufactured, and they weren't. It's real simple. It violates the law.
Ann Lugbull of Cincinnati represents the man who blew the whistle on Mazak. He's Fred Petticone, a former cost accountant at Mazak's Kentucky plant. Petticone claims he was fired from Mazak after he questioned his bosses about the paperwork. Documents that he and Lugbull have uncovered reveal that Mazak sold Japanese machines to Hill Air Force Base in Utah and McClellan Air Force Base in California, each time certifying the machines as made in America.
Normally, a machine that has gone through any production, any work whatsoever in Florence, Kentucky, is not going to come in on a boat from Japan. It's going to come on a truck.
Petticone told the government about the Mazak deals 4 years ago, but nothing was ever done. The U.S. Customs Office in Cincinnati never questioned Petticone, and the Customs Office here in Houston, the point of entry for the Japanese machines, was never notified. And it's not just government contracts. This is a letter from a Mazak distributor about a model it sold to the Bendix Corporation. The memo includes instructions on how to repackage and relabel the machines to make them look like they were made in the USA.
I think it's disgraceful.
Lugbull says the government should do more to protect American industry.
And when it comes to something this fundamental, whether we have the ability in this country and maintain that ability to make complex machines, state-of-the-art machines, and our government isn't lifting a finger to make sure that we retain that capability here, I get very upset.
Officials from Mazak in Kentucky would not comment for this report. In the past, the company has said it has not violated any laws, and Mazak continues to bid on government contracts. Charles Hadlock, 11 News.